Hi, I'm Rachael Woody with Rachael Cristine Consulting, and today we're going to talk about the top 7 grant pitfalls. All right, pitfall number 1 is a TLDR, which is too long, didn't read title. Now, titles are an introduction to your grant. It's the first thing the reviewers are going to see. Now, if it's long, complicated, jargon-filled, and has too much punctuation, you're going to lose them. Grant titles need to be clear, snappy, and even a little fun in order for it to have an immediate positive effect on the grant reviewers. All right, top pitfall number 2 is not clearly identifying or articulating the solution that your grant application is trying to convey. Identifying our needs, talking about our problems, justifying those problems is really easy, at least to articulate. Grant applications, where I've seen a lot of my clients and when I do reviews, a lot of museums and archives go wrong, is focusing too much on the problem and not enough on how they're going to solve it. If there's no clear solution, then there's not actually a grant project idea in here. You're just airing your grievances. So make sure that solution is in there, clear, and there is a proportionate solution response to the problem statement. All right, pitfall number 3 is we just talked about how easy it is to talk about our problems, but you need to have evidence. If there's no evidence, justification in the form of statistics, letters of support, any sort of qualitative or quantitative evidence that can help demonstrate or illustrate your problem that you're trying to solve, then it's hard for grant reviewers to know if there really is a problem, and if there is, how much of a problem it is. So make the grant reviewer's job easy in justifying and providing evidence for your problem statement. All right, pitfall number 4 is probably the most universal pitfall in both clients that I've worked with and as a grant reviewer have seen. And that's not indicating any way that you're going to measure your success if you get this grant and implement the project. So you need any sort of metrics here, qualitative, quantitative. The most effective often has a blend of both. But identify somehow that if you get this money and you implement this solution, and at the end of the grant project, what does success look like? How many digitized items, how much staff time is saved, how many people you are going to interact with, what new exhibit display goes up, what different museums you're working with, anything to help demonstrate that you are making a positive impact with this grant award will help. Pitfall number 5. This one hurts a little bit when I see it, and it's a lack of why should we care statement. Every museum and archives has problems, has needs, and every museum and archives is going to apply for grants. You're going to have tough competition, and that's why it's important not to rely on your specialness, because each museum and archive is going to be special, is going to be unique. And so in this case, if you're relying on that and not giving us a reason as to why we should care beyond that, then you have automatically failed this grant application. Pitfall number 6, this one is so easy to avoid, so please pay attention to this. That is made up timelines and costs. Anytime there's a grant project involved, no matter what it is, you need to get your numbers from somewhere. Make sure they are real numbers. Now, especially if it's to fund some sort of project workflow, you're going to need to figure out an equation in terms of how do you know how much staff time it will take to digitize this item, correct it, catalog it, and publish it. Have an equation there in your grant project to help give grant reviewers the sense that you guys know what you're doing and that you've figured out these numbers in a real time. And pitfall number 7 is why you. This one's a little bit different than pitfall number 5, where everybody's unique. For this one, why you is you have a museum or archives full of experts who have done extensive school, have experience, have done internships, have great projects that they have done or published or what have you. Rely on those. Use your assets there to explain why it is that your museum, your archives, your staff should be the ones doing this project and not one of your competing museums or archives. So take a moment, or at least a sentence or two, to address why it is important that you do the project and not someone else. Otherwise, they're the ones that are going to get the grant. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more tips and tricks. Check out my website, and don't forget to get your free copy of my book, A Survivor's Guide to Museum Grant Writing. You can get a free copy from Lucida Press for the electronic version, or check out Amazon.com for a physical paperback book. Thank you for listening.